Is wholesaling real estate illegal in Philadelphia? As some of you may know, I moved from South Jersey to Pennsylvania, specifically Philadelphia. And if you've heard the news over the past year or so, Philadelphia has been super hot when it comes to wholesaling real estate. Specifically, African-American wholesalers in real estate have been profiting big checks, and it's drawn literally an outrageous amount of attention to the point where the city has now banned the practice of wholesaling without a license. So stay tuned, guys, because I'm going to break down exactly how the law affects us all and how you can still effectively wholesale real estate in Philadelphia. What's up, guys? My name is Lillian Chukwueze. If you are new to the channel, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you get alerted when I drop the next video. I talk all about real estate, entrepreneurship, and investing. So if any of those topics interest you, definitely hit the bell so you don't miss when I drop the next video. So, is wholesaling real estate illegal in Philadelphia? No, it's not illegal. I'm not a wholesaler, but I do wholesale. It's just simply another exit strategy that I use as an investor, and so do a lot of other investors. Wholesaling is simply another tool in my toolbox, along with other exit strategies, so I don't consider myself a wholesaler, and you shouldn't either. So the city of Philadelphia passed a law requiring wholesalers to have a wholesaling license, which would force them to adhere to ethical constraints similar to those binding state-accredited real estate agents. Now, it's been talked about since 2020. The law officially has been passed on January 19th of 2021. And actually, the wholesaling license is only a $200 fee. It does not require wholesalers to take any professional classes or pass any exams or anything like that. So I'm not exactly sure how that would help, their ethical concerns, but hey, it is what it is. I am an agent, so I do understand the ethical concerns, behind these transactions and, the ethical concerns that the government or the city has. But I understand the wholesaling side and the agent side. So the license basically means that you can't make any false promises. What they say is that wholesalers pretty much go after houses of deceased people because their heirs don't typically know the value of the property. And just my thoughts are that the internet has all the information you can possibly need, and you can literally learn how to determine the value of your property at the click of a button. You can even find basic estimates, which most people actually do use, such as sites like Zillow and Redfin and Realtor.com. So, there's no information that's hidden out there from the owner, which is why I'm a little baffled as to why, this is coming into play, but it is what it is. And the way we run our business is pretty simple. We give homeowners all the options until they are the ones who determine that we are the best fit for them. That's literally one of our sales strategies, is to basically say, hey, we might not be the best fit for you. We're not always the best fit for every, homeowner that we come in contact with. We actually say we're not the best fit for most homeowners because most people don't need to sell at a discount. Typically, those who need money fast are the ones who need to sell at a discount. And we don't purchase all the properties that we inquire about. So the homeowner has to be a good fit for us, as we have to be a good fit for them. Because at the end of the day, the homeowner can simply deny your offer. That's why it's a little crazy to me, because you can literally deny somebody's offer. Nobody's forcing you to, sign this purchase agreement. Nobody's forcing you to sell your house. You have the option to do so, and you have the freedom to do as much research as you possibly can. So I don't understand why the government wants to necessarily intervene with these types of transactions, because, again, the homeowner has free will to do as they like. But regulators are mainly concerned about how wholesalers can get paid without really putting their names on deeds and basically without being traced. I feel like the government really wants to just be able to track these transactions because, again, wholesalers don't have to put their names on anything that really declares that they own the property because they're not closing on it. So I think the government and the big organizations definitely want to be able to track these transactions and the person involved or the people involved. So I think that's another reason why that they're implementing this law. But it's a little weird because now that they're making people get a wholesaler's license or a wholesaling license, do flippers also need to get a wholesaling license? Because there's a bunch of flippers who get the property under contract the same way you would as a wholesale deal. Sometimes they close, sometimes they don't, sometimes they just might wholesale it themselves. So does that mean that all the flippers out there are also gonna have to get a wholesaling license or a flipper's license? When all this regulation comes into play, what's actually gonna be happening here? I know with my business, we plan to flip some deals, we plan to wholesale some deals, we plan to buy and keep some deals. So, and these are just all strategies. So do I have to get a license for everything, or do I have to, I'm licensed as an agent, so it's a little bit different for me. I'm covered through that, but does that mean that anybody who wants to buy and flip a property has to get a wholesaling license? As I said earlier, wholesaling is simply just another exit strategy amongst other strategies to utilize as an investor. Another reason why the government wants to kind of intervene with these type of transactions and make you get a wholesaling, because they believe all homeowners deserve market value. And this is true. I totally agree. However, if a home is not in market value condition, how can you compare or how can you command market value price? You know, for a buyer to pay market value price, it also has to be in that same condition. But if it's not in that condition that commands that market value price, then what happens? I'm not going to pay, top dollar for a property that needs to be completely renovated. It doesn't make sense. And in these types of situations, homeowners don't necessarily want to make the repairs to the house to bring the value of the house up to market value condition. So with that being said, that's where people like me, investors like myself, will step in, purchase a house, make the renovations to the house, and then put it back on the market for top dollar value, to be able to, continue to have that type of economy and everything like that. But you can't command market value and say that everybody deserves market value if the house is not in the according condition. So naturally, if it's not at top dollar condition, I'm not paying top dollar price. It's the same thing when it comes to buying a brand new car, right? You go to a dealership, you buy a brand new car. We all know the second you drive it off the lot, it's not worth the same. So if you bought a $50,000 car, you drove it off the lot, I mean, am I gonna come to you and be like, hey, I want your car for $50,000? I'm gonna be like, no, we know it's not $50,000 anymore. I'm gonna offer you 45 or whatever the case is. So it's the same thing with houses. It's the same thing, with pawning jewelry. You get a ring, you get a divorce, and then you go to the pawn shop. Are they gonna offer you the same price that your man paid for the ring for at the retail store? No. It's the same thing when it comes to wholesaling real estate. I'll give you guys another example. I literally bought a motorcycle from a dealership. It was actually a wholesale dealership that I bought this motorcycle from. Yeah, I like to ride bikes. And I bought it for $4,000. Literally wholesaled my bike because I had to sell it because I wanted to invest more into the business, and I realized I had a liability. Sometimes you kind of just buy things off of this high, emotional high that you get, but I had to sell it. I bought it for $4,000. I went to sell it a couple months later, sold it for $3,000. Am I mad that I sold for $3,000? Not necessarily, because I understand that I bought it from a retail dealer and I sold it to a wholesale buyer. So it is what it is, but I had to liquidate it fast, and that's how it worked out. Could I have sold it for more? Maybe. If I would have waited another 6 months, for the weather to kind of turn better, then yeah. If it was in the summertime, I probably could have sold it a little bit higher, but I needed the cash right then and there. So that's what happened. And that's the whole premise of wholesaling, guys. That's the whole premise of business. Buy low, sell high, right? So let's get back to this law. So basically, this law requires ownership interest in. This legislation requires wholesalers to pay a $200 licensing fee to disclose all companies in which they hold an interest in. And wholesalers who have been convicted of fraud or who have already violated ethical laws within 6 years of their application are disqualified from getting a wholesaler's license. Wholesalers can lose their license if they violate a code of ethics stating that they may not knowingly make any substantial misrepresentations, make any false promises, untruthfully advertise, or engage in any conduct which demonstrates bad faith, dishonesty, untrustworthiness, or incompetency. So this legislation was actually endorsed by the Greater Philadelphia Association of Realtors, which I'm also a part of as a realtor. Basically, the license makes wholesalers provide full disclosure of the market value of a property and provide homeowners with resources that assess the value of a property. But my question is, does that mean that I can show them Zillow? Because if that's the case, that's already what they've been doing. If that's what covers me, then that's cool with me. And the law also forces you to inform property owners of their ability to hire a real estate agent or to seek legal counsel, as if they don't already know that. But whatever. If you violate the law, then your contract may be rescinded. You may have to deal with some fines. Who knows? Wholesalers talk, and we all know the good wholesalers from the bad wholesalers. When it comes to the law, I know the wholesalers that I know, and myself as well, we pretty much already do all the things that the law states. So we follow a lot of ethical rules already. So I don't really understand the reason of the law, but it is what it is. But I really think the main reasons for this legislation is to basically funnel more deals through these real estate brokerages who work directly with these, state associations. So basically all the money just keeps funneling to the elites, the people at the top. And I also just think it's just a way for, the government, the state, or whoever to just keep tabs on people that they're not able to keep tabs on, being in the wholesaling world. But my conclusion is, instead of getting a wholesaling license, just get a real estate license. It's a lot more expensive, but you'll be covered and you'll be able to monetize the leads that you aren't able to convert with wholesaling into listings, and it'll basically just give you more credibility. And I actually created a whole video about why you should get licensed as a real estate investor. So make sure you guys check that video out. And if you do decide to actually get licensed, I'll leave my discount code in the description for the classes. They're completely online classes, so you can take the education online and then take the test in person. And I passed the test on my first try in just a couple months, so I highly recommend this course. I will leave the link again down low. But other than that, I really hope this helps you guys out. So if you're in the Philadelphia market, definitely beware of this legislation, and make sure you CYA, cover your but other than that, guys, I hope this video helped you, and if it did, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. And make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok, because those are my two favorite platforms. Fly high low on both. I will leave the links for those in the description as well. I'll see you guys on the next video. Stay blessed and stay safe.